Okay, hello guys, Figure97 here. Welcome to another video. And as I even said it before, it will be a little bit a different video, like a presentation more on, but you shouldn't have the feeling like it is in school. It's just for me to have kind of that you can see it also visually, and also that I have something, that it's a little bit more in order, and yeah, in this way compact more. So this is a little bit a try to make different video. And so I try it first of all with a figure, a character in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I already talked about Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and yeah, it will be about a video about Kisame Hoshigaki. So it's not one of the main characters in Naruto, but it is a big character in Naruto still. So I think it's very, very, if you try something out, it's very good to start with some character like this, And yeah, if it works out good, I'm thinking, or I would like to do it, especially then when I started the Star Wars Legends series, when I go more deep into it, so to say. But yeah, let's try it out this time with this kind of how can I say it? This kind of way of talking about a topic or a character from whatever, science fiction, fantasy, movie, world. So let's start with Kisame Hoshigaki, her character in Naruto, Naruto Shippuden. So this time it's about a character in an anime, so-called anime or manga. And manga. Again, manga, I already told it, but manga is the Japanese version of a comic, and anime, if a comic is made in a series, then normally you say cartoon, but if it comes from a manga, it's an anime. Just to say that, and it just means that it's from Japan. It has its own style, but it just means that it is from Japan, so to say.
From Japan, or it's
So
Japanese.
let's start and talk about Kisame Hoshigaki. Here you see some points, and some pictures of Kisame. So first of all, I will talk about him, his person, just, a little bit of introduction, who Kisame is. Kisame is also called the Tailless Jinchuriki because of his massive chakra reserves. He's very muscular, he has a lot of strength. He can even hold his big sword, Samehada. He's a master in Suiton Jutsus. Suiton means water jutsus, Suiton means just water. So yeah, he's a master of it. And many jutsus of his are shark-shaped, It's kind of his theme, you can say. But not all of them. Yes, some, Doesn't mean that all of his jutsus are shark-shaped or designed like a shark, but a lot of it, especially the stronger ones. He's originally from Kirigakure. That's one of the villages who exist, who are important in Naruto. There are 5 of them, who are important for the story. Yeah, and he was there one of the 7 shinobi sword warriors from Kirigakure. They're, famous, you can say so. And he used the powerful sword of the 7 from the shinobi sword warriors of Kirigakure, the Samihada. And Samihada means something like shark skin. And as you can see here on the left side of the pictures at the bottom, he can fusionate with a sword. And then he becomes fusionate with a sword. Kind of shark, especially in his upper body. Because his lower body, he still have 2 feet. But, you know, his upper body is looking like a shark. You see it a little bit here on the left side, on the 2 pictures. On the right pictures here at the bottom, you see how Kisame kind of fusionates with his sword Samihada. He is kind of in it and also kind of, a little bit fusion, not fully fusionate. Not fully fusionated with his sword, but a part of it. You can see it here. And on the left side, you see the normal Kisame with his shark skin jutsus. You see behind here, and above that, you see how he looks like when he fusionates with his sword, Samihada. And then on the right side, the 2 pictures here, just that's just how Kisame normally looks like when we see him in the manga or the anime, because most of the time he's in the organization Akatsuki, and he looks like this with his sword on his sword on his back. And on the upper picture here at the top, we see Kisame in his younger years. There he had a normal katana. He don't had the Samihada. He just gets it later on. But there we see him, how he looks like when he was an shinobi, an assassin from Kirigakure, you can say. Let's carry on a little bit about the Samihada, his sword, the shark skin also called. The Samihada does not cut like a normal sword. It saws more. So it's not a straight cut, it's more like it's more like a saw, cannot explain it better, You see it even here on the right side, in on the right pictures here at the top and in the middle here, you see how this sword looks like. So that's not like a sword, like a knife you have where you cut somebody like bread, or where you cut like bread. It's more like was maybe not the best example, but it's more like a saw, not a motor saw, but a saw where it's just you can see it here. It has these kind of spines, and so he swings it. Kisame swings it against an opponent, and then he kind of, because of the spines his sword have, he kind of saws kind of saw more, like he swings at his opponent, his sword not really immediately cuts the opponent, just with the weight it gets into the opponent, and then kind of, I don't know, do you say riffle? It riffles, or it saws, just like this. And also, it not just, cuts and damages the opponent like this. It also absorbs chakra. It's not like a normal sword. It's like a living being. You can see it here on the right side. In the middle. It's a living being, and it's alive and it eats chakra and absorbs chakra from the. So if Kisame finds some different another ninja, he also has the advantage that his sword absorbs the chakra from the enemy, and it doesn't even have, if he attacks the opponent with his sword, it can eat more chakra if it's nearby the opponent, or if Samihada directly damages the opponent. But it also can absorb chakra just like that. We see it in a fight, for example, against Killer Bee. We see at the bottom on the right side the picture. He fights Killer Bee, and Killer Bee has his sticks and swords. He throw them against, and even one time a pen, he throw them against Kisame, and when he throws them, he fills it up with chakra, with even I think Raiton chakra, so thunder chakra you can say. And the sword, before it hits Kisame, the sword already absorbed the chakra who the swords or sticks or pens were fulfilled with. So yeah, so it doesn't have this power anymore. Yeah. So again, it absorbs chakra, it's alive, the sword, it eats chakra, like, it can attack with his thorns or spines, however you want to call it. You see it here on the right side, in the middle of this presentation here. It can move and extend itself. It's also important to know, because I already told you it's kind of a being. It's not just a material sword, It's a being, like an animal, It's like it has its own personality and its own it can move by its own and everything. But also it is a sword. You see it even here. It has like I forgot the name English, but you can hold it like a sword and it acts, it functions like a sword. But it is a being, like an animal. It's it's a being. I wrote it down here too. It's an independently thinking being. It has its own feelings. We see that when Kisame died and the sword was kind of sad, And it also doesn't want to attack Killer Bee when Kisame fights against, has his fight against Killer Bee, and it doesn't really want to cut Killer Bee because it likes Killer Bee chakra, and also later on maybe even Killer Bee himself, so it doesn't want to hurt him. Even though most of the time it just listens to whatever Kisame or the current master of the sword, is trying to do, how their orders are, it just acts like it. Yeah, I already we see it in the presentation before, but I already wrote it down here because it's about Samihada. It can fusionate with Kisame, and the users we know of from the Samihada are in the correct order: Fuguki Zuikazan, Kisame Hoshigaki, and Killer Bee. And Fuguki Zuikazan we see here on the beside this note, on the left side, at the bottom on the left side, we see here Kisame. Of these both pictures on the left side, we see here Kisame on the left side, and on the right side of the picture we see Fuguki Zuikazan. and this was the former master of Kisame, and yeah, the former user of Samehada, and then Kisame took it from his master Suikazan, and after Kisame died, even a little bit before, you can say, I don't want to go there in too much details, but after Kisame, the next user was Killer Bee. And Killer Bee we see here on the right side at the button, and in this picture on the left side we see Killer Bee, on the right side Kisame. And yeah, they were fighting, and kind of after the fight and the after the fight, it kind of, yeah, Killer Bee then was kind of the user, or is then the user of Samehada. So if we talk about Kisame, we have to talk about Akatsuki and the role he played in Akatsuki. We see here some pictures on the right side at the top, and also some pictures in the bottom. And on the right side, at the top, we see, Kisame with his partner in their Akatsuki outfit. Akatsuki, I will talk a little bit about these notes, and then I will carry on with these two characters here. So in Akatsuki, everybody has kind of a ring on his finger, and it means something else. Like Kisame has the ring Nan, what means south, on the left ring finger. The color of his nails is violet, because for some reason, everybody of the Akatsuki members has different colors of his nails, or the different color of their nails, and Kisame's is violet. His partner is Itachi Uchiha. Itachi Uchiha we see here on the right side at the top. In this picture we see Itachi on the left side, and on the right side we see Kisame. And you see always, they have always these kind of Akatsuki outfit with the, black robe and the, red clouds on it. Always we have like the sign of their former village, but they become Nukenin, so they left the village, and that's why you see these cut here. That means I'm a Nukenin. I come from this village, but I'm not longer a part of it. And so that's something we always see on Akatsuki. And on the contrary, in comparison with other teams in Akatsuki, Kisame sees and accepts Itachi as the more powerful and more skilled of the two. Normally, because Akatsuki has 10 members, and they are always, if they have a mission, they always going into pairs of 2, and they have it's kind of fixed, they have their fixed partners, and Kisame's partner is Itachi. And yeah, most of them, but it's a little bit different, because some of them accept one as the stronger one, but more often it's not like this. They both think they are the stronger ones. And Kisame and Itachi are maybe one of the maybe even the most powerful team, I would say, from the originally Akatsuki team, together with Pain and Conan, Itachi and Kisame are the powerfulst. And Kisame is a very powerful member of Akatsuki, even of Akatsuki, who is just, they exist just powerful members. But even there, Kisame's a very powerful member, but in this case, he accepts Itachi as the stronger one. After Itachi's death, he's alone. He's alone, or with Tobi. Also, he was called Tobi, but it's originally Obito Uchiha, together on missions for Akatsuki. Yeah. So he went alone, or with Obito, Tobi, at missions after Itachi's death. And yeah. On the left side, also here at the bottom, we see some other members of Akatsuki, like kind of different paintings of them. But on the right side above, we see Kisame, and then at the bottom we see Dedera. On the left side, we see Sasori, and Dedera and Sasori are also a pair in Akatsuki. And then on the left side at the top, we see Itachi, the partner of Kisame. Or was the partner of Kisame most of the time. Yeah. Sorry, I see here I wrote the title in German still, but it's about the yellow one. I cannot change it right now, but I just tell you what it means. Like, it's about the history, the white, the right side. You see the right written words are about the history of Kisame, and the black one is about his character. The black words about his character. So let's go into the history of Kisame. The genin test, he comes from Kirigakure, as I told you. The genin test in Kirigakure was very brutal. Students had to kill each other, what had changed after Zabuza killed his whole class. Zabuza, we see on the right side at the top, was also one of the 7 sword shinobi of Kirigakure. And yeah, he was also known for his brutality, as Kisame is. Kisame is even more. But it changed. The test changed after Zabuza killed his whole class, and Kisame is older than Zabuza is. So just that you know. Fuguki, it's hard to say the name. Fuguki Zuikazan was the predecessor or precursor from Kisame and his superior, or his mentor, you can say, his master, you can say, and was also the former user of Samehada. So you can say this, his sensei in Naruto terms, the sensei of Kisame was Fuguki Zuikazan and the former user of Samehada. As Kisame killed Fuguki because Fuguki betrayed his village, and Kisame then took the sword of his mentor Samehada. Kisame became then one of the 7 shinobi sword fighters from Kirigakure. So, yeah, that's a very interesting fact, here that he killed his former master because his former master betrayed Kirigakure. So Kisame just did his job on that one. And, Kisame then took the sword, Samehada. So, what was happening then? How he came to Akatsuki. So the 4th Mitsukage, the Mitsukage is the, as I told you as I speak about this thing in the Naruto basis video, Kage also means it's the highest shinobi of the village. So it's the kind of the, how can you say it, kind of the, is a strong shinobi, the chief, you can say, of the village, and is also there to protect the village. So that's always the Kage. And because it's here, it's about Kirigakure, here we have the Mitsukage. and it's the fourth Mitsukage. So there were 3 before, and that's the fourth Mitsukage. So the fourth Mitsukage was controlled by so-called Madara Uchiha. It's more likely it was Obito by that time, who offered him a position in Akatsuki. Also, he told him his Mugen Tsuki no Me plan. Kisame accepted the offer and becomes a member of Akatsuki until he died through suicide. So, it's like it's a very big thing about Kisame, because we came to it when we speak about his character, because he mostly just does his job, as an assassin, as an shinobi, and he kind of sees, and at one point, and he's very good at this, he's very, very strong, he is kind of a brutal character, but it's good for his job, because he just is an elite soldier, if you want, so elite shinobi, and just does his job. And he sees at one time, I'm loyal to that, and then there's betrayal, and then I'm loyal to kind of that, where's the sense in all this, and kind of, because, as I said, he killed his former master because he betrayed Kirigakure, so it was his job to kind of assassinate him when he finds it out. And we also see him kind of when we see the path of Kisame, we see him going with a group who he had to kind of protect from against enemies because of information they had, and the enemies are not allowed to get this information. And at one point there were so much enemies, he couldn't save all of them. So what did he? He killed all of the people he should protect, that the enemy cannot get the information. And the only way that the enemy couldn't get this information in this kind of situation he was placed in was if he killed every of the person who have the information, So it's always this thing. And then he was always loyal to, he's kind of loyal to Kiri, and loyal to the Mitsukage, because he's the leader of Kiri, you can say, of Kirigakure. And then you find out he was all the time controlled by someone, and he's like, what, always in his head, he's kind of, okay, I'm loyal to that, but what is the sense of all that? And then comes, the person who controlled the Mitsukage, Obito, or he called himself there Madara Uchiha, and, he tells him about the plan of the Mugen Tsuki no Me plan, where kind of there is no peace in kind of the real world. We have to do a big kind of illusion jutsu, to kind of, to have kind of freedom, and also one person who kind of controls everything, even though, it's not the good side in Naruto, you can say. It's more the evil persons, but you see always, when you look at the past, where this comes from. And this is kind of sometimes even there's a good cause behind it, as it is in this case, Kisame's, what's the sense of all, I have to assassinate them and be loyal to this, and then I found out, okay, he was kind of betraying it, and then I have to, even kill my master or the person I have to protect, because, what does all this means? And so after the Tsuki no Me plan was explained to him, where, they want to create a big illusion for the whole world, and get their kind of freedom and kind of sense, and the senseless conflicts and stuff like this. So Kisame accepted the offer and becomes a member of Akatsuki until he died through suicide. And he even died, why did he what he did, Why did he pass through suicide? It was also because he was kind of showing loyalty to Akatsuki, because after he accepted the offer from Akatsuki, he's nuking in for Kirigakure. So his loyalty kind of changed from Kirigakure to where he sees no sense anymore in being loyal to Kirigakure, as I said. And then he comes to Akatsuki, and then he's there very loyal. And he did the suicide that the enemy cannot get information from him, because he was kind of imprisoned and beaten up by Might Guy and imprisoned from the people there. And he's like, if I cannot go away, and even maybe there's no sense in going away, I have to kill myself so that they cannot get any information about Akatsuki and the persons I am loyal with. The group with I am loyal with. And so here we came to his kind of character, because he is very loyal. He had a tendency to brutal force. Contrary to that, he talks very polite and formal. He is called the Monster of Kirigakure, so that's his nickname, his known name. He's very loyal. He stays true to his line, fulfilled his missions very conscientious and carefully. And in this kind of sense, he's a perfect shinobi. He stays true to his line. He has a lot of devotion, loyalty to his missions and organizations he's allied with. He follows the code of a warrior honor, and it's the moral code you can say for him. The code of warrior of honor, you can say. Yeah. As I said, he's very, very, very loyal from his character. He's very, he always do his job, as an shinobi, you can say, as his best. He always did the missions right, even though he did them often in a very brutal way, I mean, he killed, but it's kind of noble life also in the shinobi world. And Kirigakure was very hard to their shinobi. So, and he was just the perfect kind of assassinator, you can say. And also, very strong character and very interesting character. Because in the beginning you see just him doing his missions. He doesn't say much, just sometimes asking some questions, following Itachi and being, very strong and brutal and attacking with brutal force, mostly with his sword, later on mostly with Suiton Jutsus and his sword. And so much to his persons, which sees us that, and then we see like his past, and then okay, there it comes from, he was kind of grown up to become like this, and he was just a very, very strong shinobi, and he just sees no sense anymore at one point to follow the orders, because who he is loyal with. He was also taught you have to be loyal with Kirigakure, and then, he have to do all this hard stuff for Kiri. And he sees there's no sense, especially when he finds out that the fourth Mitsukaze is controlled by another person. And then this person comes, with a plan and give him kind of new sense. And so he sees no sense anymore in to be loyal with Kiri. So he goes to Akatsuki, and then he is has very high loyalty is very loyal to Akatsuki, you know. Even he killed himself, that the enemy cannot get information from him. So big is his loyal, and so, you know, big his moral code, kind of, you know. So, and as I said, and at the top of the picture, at the top, we see on the right side Zabuza in a picture, on the left side Kisame, and at the bottom we see on the right side Tobi, who called him in the beginning Madara Uchiha himself, and yeah, we later finds out that it's Obito Uchiha. As I said in my videos, you will see always spoilers. Yeah. Again, the title, The White Ones, is about, you know, the history of Kisame. The black words are about his character. So, I want to especially thank the fan website Narutopedia. You know, I watched the series, but, you know, it's a while ago. I was really into Naruto, but it's a while ago, so with the Narutopedia, I can always look things up. And yeah, here we see a few pictures, you know, of Kisame. I begin at the top from the left side. We see here some, you know, his shark attacks. Although at the top on the left side in the picture, we see here his shark attacks, his Suiton water shark attacks, water jutsu shark attacks. Then when we go on to the right side, we see Kisame with a katana, and we also see something which is very important, where, you know, you see his kind of design, his kind of blue skin, and even with, I don't know the word right. You say keems in English? I don't know. You know, where what also fish have, but we don't know if he can really breathe to that. But, you know, we see how he looks like, and also we see, because here the different color of his skin, it's not because it's normal. He was kind of attacked by Killer Bee there, and it wasn't open wound, you know. It was like everything was open, and through his sword Samihada and through the chakra his sword give him, he could heal, you know, and that you see here. So he just heals with chakra his open wound, kind of. And yeah, so that's because his skin there is different. He just heals himself. Then on the right side of this picture, we see just a picture of Kisame with, you know, kind of water, you know, because, yeah, that's his style, water jutsu. Then beside of this, on the right side, we see here Kisame action figure. Then on the right side of this, we see Kisame using his water style jutsu, and yeah, creating these three kind of, yeah, shark-shaped water, or these three water sharks, you know, who he controlled with his water jutsu and created under the sea, under the water. And then at the bottom of that picture, we see here other water jutsu created sharks from Kisame. Then at the bottom of the right side, in this presentation, we see Kisame, who also comes kind of out of the water, and has his also a shark-shaped water jutsu, but this time it's around himself, you know. He just tries to get away from the shinobi of Konoha in this case in the anime and manga. And yeah. Then on the left side of this, we have Kisame, and behind Kisame some water style Suiton Jutsu created sharks from Kisame, and above all of that we have Kisame who fusionated with a sword. We already saw this picture in the beginning. Then on the left side of this we have again Kisame, who is there fusionated with his sword, Samihada. Then at the bottom of this, we have another picture where Kisame fights Konoha ninjas with just a regular, very big water jutsu. He can also, use, even if there's no water, because that's not what everybody can do, because a lot of people are just water jutsu style users, they need water for it. But Kisame even can create by himself water, and then he can use it, his jutsus, and he has even different water styles where he can extend a lot of water of himself, and then he can use this for his water techniques. Yeah. Like for example, here he just creates a lot of water, or he creates a wave if he's in the water. Or he can even summon, as we see in the fight against Killer Bee, a lot of water, a very big water bubble, and it always the enemy is kind of, not always he is the center of this bubble, of this big water bubble. And, he has just to swim to the enemy, or even the enemy is so nearby him that he's already in this water bubble. And he can breathe in water, we know it, when he fusionates with his sword. We don't know if he can do it just like this, but I doubt it. But when he gets fusionated with his sword, he can, breathe underwater. And even, if he touches somebody or is nearby somebody, he even absorbs chakra in this form directly from his opponent. And that's also because he can even hold so much chakra in himself, and because of the ways he can absorb chakra, not only with his fusionation and Samihada, also sometimes with some jutsus. Like he has the shark jutsu, and if you get something against the shark jutsu, the shark just gets bigger, the water shark, because he kind of eats the chakra of that jutsu, and it just makes him stronger. So this makes him very strong, especially in ninjutsu. And we also know for sure, because of his techniques and also his sword fight skills, that he's very good in taijutsu. The only thing kind of he's not so into it is kind of genjutsu. And there he has as a partner Itachi, who is very a master of genjutsu and also ninjutsu and taijutsu, but it kind of fits very good. And he sometimes even shows different jutsus. He one time, for example, shows an Doton jutsu style jutsu, where he goes into the earth and then uses his sword in the earth, and comes also kind of like a shark, but in the earth. He's in the earth and the sword is outside the earth, and he kind of tries to get into the opponents. But most of his jutsu, are water style jutsus, and a lot of the water style jutsus he uses are shark shaped, as we already see here. And then here on the left side at the bottom, we see just few pictures of Kisame and one picture of Kisame's face. Just pictures of kind of shown in different angles. Kisame with a sword and his Akatsuki outfit. Yeah. So that's it for now. I try to change one or two things by the fourth presentation picture, and then it's finished. I hope it was okay. It was my first try with this one. I have the feeling sometimes I fucked it a little bit up with the words, but I think that's a good kind of way to talk about a certain theme or character into a series or whatsoever. So see you guys and bye. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Here again the fourth presentation with the I wrote history with a big letter in the beginning, but I hope it's okay, you know. That's normally you do it in German like this. Maybe in English you can do it like both like this and that, but you know, I just try to make it right, okay? But it's the fourth presentation again, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. See you. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed to watch the video. Bye bye.